So, live once again. Good evening, folks. Mobile Geezer here, back with another edition of Friday Night Tech Talk. So, let's see who got in here tonight. So far, Brian came in. Always glad to have you, brother. He was the first one in, quite early. And then Eleanor came in. Of course, wish everybody a good weekend. My guess is she won't be here too long because I know she has to work tomorrow morning. But I'm glad you're here, Eleanor, also. So we'll see what other regulars we get popping in here. If you're new here, I do this every Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time from the U.S. because we have a bunch of people from different parts of the U.S., New York, California, Texas. And usually we have friends from the Philippines, usually at least one person from over in Britain, which it's tomorrow morning over there. And because where Renz is in the Philippines, he's 12 hours ahead. He's usually on his way to work or just getting to work when we start here. But if you're new here, glad to have you. And each week I try to give you some interesting stories from the tech world from last Friday to this Friday. And if there's nothing big happening, like some big new phone release or something, I just try to find stories that might be interesting or stories that everybody's talked about, like a lot of it's been about AI and ChatGPT for the last few months, which we all know. Last week, I made a point of saying for once I had a week without any ChatGPT stuff. But this week, we're going to have a little bit, so it's back. It's hard to get away from this AI stuff. Last night, when Pocket Now, when he started his broadcast, he says the news of the week is basically nothing. And I'm like, okay, so it's not just me. So every week I put the stories on my website. So let me share that. Share screen. So if you go over, didn't share, did I? Okay. If you go over to my website, at mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. Click on today's date. You'll get just the stories for this week. And I know it says in the up top, it says 421. That's because somehow I overlaid last week's stories with this week's stories, but it is from today. So ignore that. And and we've got Anthony here from My Project 13. Good to see you, brother. Been seeing you do a lot of what's the phone one? Boy, my mind just blanked out. Anyway, been following your coverage. And let's see. So if you back to my website, you can click here. You can follow along on all the stories, and you can click each one and follow as I read them. I usually read them through. Sometimes I skip around a little bit if they're very long. Usually 5 or 6 stories, but I think is interesting, especially on weeks like this when we have no big phone releases. Did have a big tablet release today, and we're going to get to that. But so while we're here, we'll just give you a preview. So I did start back with ChatGPT. Microsoft agrees. When I say agrees, I mean to everybody else, saying ChatGPT needs government regulation. That story will be on Digital Trends. So even Microsoft, even though they're ahead of everybody, they're agreeing. And then I followed it up with Snapchat. Even Snapchat's young users, and a lot of them are teenagers, have some qualms about AI chatbots. That's on CNN.com. And if you remember last year, we reported on Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. Well, that may not go through, and it might be the Brits who stop it. So that's going to be on the Verge, so we'll go over that story. And then today, I put the story up yesterday, but today, the OnePlus Pad tablet came out, and I was very tempted. I watched a bunch of videos about it, reviews about it, and I'll get to that. Anyway, could OnePlus's first Android tablet be a hit? I think it very well could be. And then YouTube Music, I said a couple of months ago, reported that YouTube Music was going to start having podcasts. Well, now the podcasts are on YouTube Music. So that, again, that's going to be on the Verge. And then, you know how I sometimes have Elon stories. I just thought it was interesting. This is from a week ago, but Elon's net worth is taking a hit. So just thought it might be interesting to go over that. So those are the stories that we'll be looking at. And let's see, let me stop screen for a minute. Okay, Anthony's always as kind and gracious as anybody you'll ever meet. If you haven't gone to my Project 13 channel, you should check him out, folks. He always has excellent stuff. Okay, so as we've known for a number of weeks, Mike, and for those who don't know, Mike and Will and I started this Friday Night Tech Talk, I guess about 4.5 years ago, maybe a little more. And they both got very busy. Will with his job mainly and his family, and Mike with some family and some work stuff. And lately he's been doing DoorDash, a lot of DoorDash. So he speculated a few weeks ago on his own channel, which is Simply Your Device, you should check that out, that he will probably be making some appearances back here on Friday Night Tech Talk in May. Well, that'll be next week, so we'll see if he gets in here. Will occasionally sneak in here, and Ted, who's been doing this with us off and on for, I guess, about 4 years now, he pops in more often than the others. So when we have one of them come in, it's a little bit longer show because we have more discussion about it. But when I'm by myself, as I am right now, the show goes by pretty quickly. So let's start with the stories. Go back to sharing screen. Back to the first story. Okay. So Microsoft agrees ChatGPT needs government regulation. So that's on Digital Trends. Even Microsoft thinks ChatGPT needs to be regulated. Here's why. This is by Alex Blake, and he wrote this 3 days ago. And we'll put this in read review and see if we can get rid of some of these ads. Artificial intelligence chatbots have been taking the world by storm, with the capabilities of Microsoft ChatGPT causing wonderment and fear in almost equal measure. But in an intriguing twist, even Microsoft is now calling on governments to take action and regulate AI before things spin dangerously out of control. Everybody's worried about this getting dangerous, including me. The appeal was made by BSA, a trade group representing numerous business software companies, including Microsoft, Adobe, Dropbox, IBM, and Zoom. According to CNBC, the group is advocating for the U.S. government to integrate rules governing the use of AI into national privacy legislation. Yeah, we've known for a couple of weeks that Elon has been telling people we need to slow this stuff down. And I did see a story, I don't have it, I didn't include it in tonight's, but that Elon was in Washington seeing Chuck Schumer a couple of days ago, I believe. So obviously some headway is being made to get some government involvement in this. And I agree, they definitely need to get the government involved in this. More specifically, BSA's argument has four main tenets. These include the assertions that Congress should clearly set out when companies need to determine the potential impact of AI, that's for sure, and that those requirements should come into effect when the use of AI leads to consequential decisions. I would say that'd be just about all the time, really, which Congress should also define. Well, maybe not all the time. BSA also states that Congress should ensure company compliance using an existing federal agency, and that the development of risk management programs must be a requirement for any company dealing with high-risk AI. And I hope whoever the contractors they hire to write these kind of programs are high-tech. As the government, sometimes they go for people who cost less, and that usually means not such a good system. I've worked for the Air Force, the Marines, and the FBI, so I've kind of seen that. As a programmer, as I should say. According to Craig Albright, Vice President of U.S. Government Relations at BSA, we're an industry group that wants Congress to pass this legislation, so we're trying to bring more attention to this opportunity. We feel it just hasn't gotten as much attention as it could or should. So I'm glad all these big shots are pushing for this, because I think it's very much needed. BSA believes the American Data Privacy and Protection Act, a bipartisan bill that is yet to become law, is the right legislation to codify its ideas on AI regulation. The trade group has already been in touch with the House Energy and Commerce Committee, the body that first introduced the bill, about its views. Good. Legislation is surely coming. The breakneck speed at which AI tools have developed in recent months, and sure has caused alarm in many corners about the potential consequences for society and culture, and those fears have been heightened by the numerous scandals and controversies that have dogged the field. And we're going to get a few more of those kind of stories in the next story from Snap. Indeed, BSA is not the first body to have advocated for tougher guardrails against AI abuse. In March 2023, a group of prominent tech leaders called on AI firms to pause research on anything more advanced than GPT-4, and Elon was part of that group. The group stated that this was necessary because AI systems with human competitive intelligence, and that's key, can pose profound risk to society and humanity, and that society at large needed to catch up and understand what AI development could mean for the future of civilization. It's clear that the rapid speed with which AI tools have developed has caused a lot of consternation among both industry leaders and the general public. And when even Microsoft is suggesting its own AI products should be regulated, it seems increasingly likely that some form of AI legislation will become law sooner or later. I hope it's sooner. So the fact that Microsoft, even though they're ahead of everybody else with this, also wants the regulation, I think is a very good thing. So just my opinion. Let's see if we got anything new in the comments. And here's Ted. Ted, if you have time, drop in and talk. And here's Annette. And Ted's coming out of Texas. Now, Ted is usually in the show, or often in the show. And Annette is out in California. So glad you're here, as always, Annette. Thanks for dropping by. So we've only done the one story so far. And if Ted drops in, I will try to watch and let you guys know. So meanwhile, nothing new in the comments about the story. So we'll go on to our next story. So, and this one has to do with Snapchat, or Snap. Even Snapchat's young users have some qualms about AI chat chatbots. I spelt it wrong. Okay. Anyway, that was my comment. And this was on CNN.com. Snapchat's new AI chatbot is already raising alarms among teens and parents. And this was just yesterday published. So let's go into reader view, get rid of some of these ads. This is by Samantha Murphy Kelly. Less than a few hours after Snapchat rolled out its My AI chatbot to all users last week, Lindsay Lee, a mother from East Prairie, Missouri, told her 13-year-old daughter, okay, I thought I was having screen issues, to stay away from the feature. It's a temporary solution until I know more about it and can set some healthy boundaries and guidelines, said Lee, who works at a software company. She worries about how My AI presents itself to young users like her daughter on Snapchat. The feature is powered by the viral AI chatbot tool ChatGPT, and like ChatGPT, it can offer recommendations, answer questions, and converse with users. But Snapchat's version has some key differences. Users can customize the chatbot's name, design a custom Bitmoji avatar for it, and bring it into conversations with friends. And the thing about letting kids make a custom Bitmoji, and now it's going to start seeming like a friend, especially if it can converse with you to some degree. So I don't know that that's a good idea, but I'm old. The net effect is that conversing with Snapchat's chatbot may feel less transactional than visiting ChatGPT's website. It also may be less clear you're talking to a computer. Exactly. I don't think I'm prepared to know how to teach my kid how to emotionally separate humans and machines when they essentially look the same from her point of view. I agree. Lee said, I just think there's a really clear line Snapchat is crossing. I think the line is not all that clear. That's part of the problem, at least when you're interacting with these chatbots. The new tool is facing backlash not only from parents, but also from some Snapchat users who are bombarding the app with bad reviews, so the kids are hitting it too. In the App Store, and criticisms on social media over privacy concerns, creepy exchanges, and an inability to remove the feature from their chat feed. Get this, an inability to remove the feature unless they pay for a premium subscription. So if you have free and you're not paying premium, you can't remove that feature, which I think is ridiculous. While some may find value in the tool, the mixed reactions hint at the risk companies face in rolling out new generative AI technology to their products, and particularly in products like Snapchat, whose users skew younger. That's true. Snapchat was an early launch partner when OpenAI opened up access to ChatGPT to third-party businesses, with many more expected to follow. Almost overnight, Snapchat has forced some families and lawmakers to reckon with questions that may have seemed theoretical only months ago. I'm sure that's very true. In a letter to the CEOs of Snap and other tech companies last month, weeks after My AI was released to Snap's subscription customers, Democratic Senator Michael Bennet raised concerns about the interactions the chatbot was having with younger users. That's good. In particular, he cited reports that it can provide kids with suggestions for how to lie to their parents. Oh, that's a wonderful thing. Let's get a chatbot that teach your kids how to lie. These examples would be disturbing for any social media platform, but they are especially troubling for Snapchat, which almost 60% of American teenagers use, Bennett wrote. And remember, back when Bing had it in theirs, and they still do, they had issues with it not telling the truth all the time too. Although Snap concedes My AI is experimental, it has nevertheless rushed to enroll American kids and adolescents in its social experiment. And that's a problem. Everybody's rushing. In a blog post last week, the company said, my AI is far from perfect, but we've made a lot of progress. Yeah, Google said the same thing. Microsoft said the same thing. And I guess they are, but it still makes you worry. In the days since its formal launch, Snapchat users have been vocal about their concerns. One user called his interaction terrifying after he said it lied about not knowing where the user was located. After the user lightened the conversation, he said the chatbot accurately revealed he lived in Colorado. So why would the chatbot lie to the kid? I don't get that. But at least he knew it. In another TikTok video with more than 1.5 million views, a user named Ariel recorded a song with an intro, chorus, and piano chords written by my AI about what it's like to be a chatbot. Oh yeah, this is interesting. When she sent the recorded song back, she said the chatbot denied its involvement with the reply. I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, I don't write songs. This is right after it wrote the song. Okay. Ariel called the exchange creepy. So it's making decisions on its own, sometimes wrong decisions or just lying. Other users shared concerns about how the tool understands, interacts, and collects information from photos. I snapped a picture and it said, nice shoes, and asked who the people were in the photo. Yeah, I don't think you want to tell it who the people were in the photo. A Snapchat user wrote on Facebook. Snapchat told CNN it continues to improve my AI based on community feedback and is working to establish more guardrails to keep its users safe. The company also said that similar to its other tools, users don't have to interact with my AI if they don't want to, but it's there. It's not possible. Now, I don't get this. It's not possible to remove my AI from chat feeds. However, unless a user subscribes to its monthly premium service, Snapchat Plus, some teens said they'd opted to pay the $3.99 Snapchat Plus fee to turn off the tool before promptly canceling the service. So some kids are just paying the $4 just so they can cancel. But I mean, before they cancel, so they can get out of it. But not all users dislike the feature. One user wrote on Facebook that she's been asking Maya for homework help. It gets all of the questions right. Another noted she's leaned on it for comfort and advice. That's probably not a good idea. I love my little pocket bestie, she wrote. You can change the Bitmoji avatar for it, and it offers really great advice in some real-life situations. I love the support it gives. So now you think of it as a friend. That's what it sounds like anyway. ChatGPT, which is trained on vast troves of data online, has previously come under fire for spreading inaccurate information, that's for sure, responding to users in ways they might find inappropriate, that's true, and enabling students to cheat. But Snapchat's integration of the tool risks heightening some of these issues and adding new ones. Of course it will. The trouble is nobody is quite sure how the chatbot, any of the chatbots, are going to react. That's the problem. Alexandra Hamlet, a clinical psychologist in New York City, said the parents of some of her patients have expressed concern about how their teenager could interact with Snapchat's tool. There's also concern around chatbots giving advice, like this kid was saying, and about mental health because AI tools can reinforce somebody's confirmation bias, right? Making it easier for users to seek out interactions that confirm their unhelpful beliefs. Sure, it's going to make your bad beliefs stronger. If a teen is in a negative mood and does not have the awareness, desire to feel better, they may seek out a conversation with a chatbot that they know will make them feel worse. Over time, having interactions like these can erode a teen's sense of worth, despite their knowing that they are really talking to a bot. Yeah, but you'll probably forget that pretty quick, I would think, or dismiss it. In an emotional state of mind, it becomes less possible for an individual to consider this type of logic. That's true. For now, the onus is on parents to start meaningful conversations with their teens about best practices for communicating with the AI. Yeah, the AI who's telling those teens to lie to their parents. Okay. Especially as the tools start to show up in more popular apps and services. Sinad Bovell, the founder of Way, a startup that helps prepare youth for future with advanced technology, said parents need to make it very clear chatbots are not your friend. I agree with that. They are also not your therapist or trusted advisor. Well, it was to this one kid we just read about. And anyone interacting with them needs to be very cautious, especially teenagers who may be more susceptible to believing what they say. Parents should be talking to their kids now about how they shouldn't share anything personal. Yeah, I agree. With a chatbot than they would a friend. That they would a friend. Even though, from a user design perspective, the chatbot exists in the same corner of Snapchat. Yeah, it's going to always seem like a friend, especially to a young kid, I would think. So, let's get off of that. Stop screen. Okay, nothing new in the comments. I'm hoping Ted would have time to drop in, but maybe he doesn't. I know he's awfully busy. Okay, so we'll go on to our next story. And this has to do with the big, that was the same picture I used last year when I first told you about this story. This would have been Microsoft's largest acquisition of all time. So I said, Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal dying. This is on the verge again. So let's go take a look. Microsoft's Activision deal is on life support because cloud gaming still sucks. Will the UK's decision be a self-fulfilling prophecy? And that's by Sean Hollister. So let's go into read review. And this was kind of an interesting story. And this was from yesterday also. I am not a merger apologist. I generally don't think the world's better off with an ever smaller number of companies at the helm. But of all the reasons to block Microsoft's $68.7 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard, I never dreamed that we need to stop Microsoft from dominating cloud gaming would be the one. Yet, that's exactly the door regulators chose to walk through on Wednesday when the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, now keep in mind Competition and Markets Authority because CMN is all over the place in the rest of this. So they're a UK regulating group, ruled that the deal could alter the future of the fast-growing cloud gaming market, leading to reduced innovation and less choice for UK gamers over the years to come. They're denying a deal that was widely expected to be approved. Yeah, everybody thought it was going to be approved everywhere, leaving Microsoft and Activision Blizzard hanging their hopes on a European Union decision next month. Pardon me, take a quick sip. So they're hoping the EU will let it go through as opposed to the UK. I've read through hundreds of pages of documents, and most of the CMA's argument boils down to Microsoft is so dominant in cloud gaming today that it could control its entire future. And yeah, I guess they are, but that's because it's such a small thing in the first place. And I can't help but laugh because it means the deal might die, not because cloud gaming is thriving, but because cloud gaming still kind of sucks. Microsoft is being punished because Google Stadia utterly failed, because Amazon Luna went nowhere fast, because Sony got distracted, because NVIDIA, get this, can't stream your own purchased games to you without negotiating with every publisher and developer under the sun. And he brings that up again later. It might die because EA and Verizon and AT&T mostly backed away after they realized the infrastructure cost to do it right didn't justify weak demand from gamers, and that, 5G or no, a phone is not a great substitute for a game console. That's true, especially if you're doing it in the cloud. It might die because Apple was so deathly afraid of becoming a dumb pipe for cloud games that it arbitrarily made up new App Store rules to lock down the iPhone. Well, isn't that what Apple does? With so little real competition, Microsoft xCloud looks dominant. That's the point. Particularly when you consider that Microsoft lumps it in with every Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, whose subscribers may, for all we know, try the xCloud once and never again. We've asked Microsoft to clarify the monthly active user figures it provided to the CMA, which aren't clear about that. Obviously, they haven't answered it either. Microsoft is a big fish in a tiny pond, and that's the point. It is a tiny pond. And paradoxically, the UK's decision might help keep it that way. So they're saying, okay, because they're in such a tiny pond and they're the biggest user, they don't want them to dominate it. So the Activision Blizzard deal could have been the biggest shot in the arm for cloud gaming ever, because Microsoft promised to sweeten the pot with huge concessions to other players in the market. Did you know Microsoft promised to put every one of its PC games on every eligible cloud service on their release date for 10 years if the deal went through? I didn't know that. So everybody would have benefited from that, I would think. Nintendo could have theoretically set up its own service to get Call of Duty running on Switch with Microsoft's blessing. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Smaller cloud gaming providers would have had access too. Did you know Microsoft had promised to shake up the whole business model, giving every game owner the rights to stream their own games to their own devices from the service of their choice, instead of the status quo where NVIDIA has to get rights to the games you already own before it can stream them to you? That is ridiculous. That was a 10-year promise too. And here's what it said. Microsoft will unilaterally grant a license to any consumer who has purchased or obtained a free license to play a PC game from an authorized third-party PC digital storefront eligible game to stream the game using a generally recognized PC consumer cloud gaming provided to a device they own. What is this complicated? Microsoft will grant the consumer license by publishing it on Microsoft's website. The consumer license will be granted for the term. So that would have been good for everybody. NVIDIA's GeForce Now boss told me that 10-year promise could break the chicken and the egg cycle by providing enough games to attract enough gamers. Yeah, I guess it would. To convince publishers to provide more games to cloud gaming services too. Sure, that would make everybody want to start developing for it. This period is sufficiently long for cloud gaming to establish itself. Yeah, 10 years is a good time as a consumer service and for providers to secure a range of popular games, Microsoft argued. I think you're right about that. Mind you, Microsoft promises are pretty self-serving because they feed right back into Microsoft core business, so they benefit. If you want to stream Microsoft Cloud PC games, you'd likely wind up investing in Windows-based servers and possibly even Microsoft's Azure Cloud platform to handle the load, like Sony was exploring for a bit, so they haven't done it. You might also halt any plans to build cloud games for Linux instead. Microsoft was apparently planning to keep all the revenue from game sales and in-app purchases instead of sharing them with rival cloud providers too. Well, that probably would have been the next lawsuit. So I'm not going to read all the rest of it, but you see the point. The UK might kill this deal in Britain, at least, because they think Microsoft might just dominate. So Microsoft is going to be looking to the EU to put it through. So we'll have to see what happens. And nothing new in the comments. Okay. So let me get out of this story. Okay. And I'm going to move on. Obviously, it's going to be an early night again, but still, I'm hoping I'm bringing you guys some stuff you didn't already know. And let's see, what did I do with Julia? So the OnePlus Pad, if anybody who hasn't heard, that came out today. OnePlus's first tablet. It seems pretty good to me. Could OnePlus's first Android tablet be a hit? That's what I said. This was on CNET. This is a very short story, but it did go out this afternoon, and I looked at reviews from Flossie Carter. You know, he does a pretty long review. His was like a half an hour. And I looked at one from Juan Bagnell, some gadget guy, and TK Bay, and from Tech Odyssey. So I guess the NDA, they all came out at the same time. The NDA, they all had these tablets for, I guess, a few weeks to a month, and they seem pretty good to me. So I'll read you the story real quick, and then I'm going to go over some of the specs, because I do have the specs over here. So let's go back to, let me get back to the story. And let's see. Okay. You can, and this was on CNET, you can now pre-order OnePlus's first Android tablet. Now get the price, expect the $479 tablet to ship May 8th. And I think for that price, this seems like a sweet tablet, just my opinion. So let's put it in reader view. Okay. After being teased earlier this year, OnePlus's first tablet is available to pre-order starting Friday. That was today. The OnePlus Pad costs $479 and is available in the US and Canada. People can also purchase a $149 magnetic keyboard, a $99 stylus, which to me is a bit much, and a $39 folio case. Now, for what I've seen, I would choose the magnetic keyboard over the folio case, but I'm spoiled because of Magic Keyboard and stuff like that. To go along with the Android tablet. The tablet has an all-metal design and comes only in Halo Green color option. It looks kind of nice, with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. Expect the tablet to ship May 8th, so that's not bad. That's a week and 3 days from now. CNET's Andrew Laxon, who tried out the tablet at the Mobile World Congress trade show earlier this year, said it has a good feel to it. So I guess they didn't get an article up today yet, or I haven't seen it yet. The tablet has an 11.6-inch display and a 7.5 aspect ratio for reading books, perusing documents, and web browsing. Laxon described the 9,510 milliamp battery as capacious. I had to look that up. This means it's big, lots of room. And OnePlus says it allows for 14 hours of video playback and up to a month in standby. The tablet also boasts a full charge in 80 minutes or less. And of course, OnePlus is known for fast charging. The tablet is ideal for people that need to multitask. OnePlus said in a press release, touting that the OnePlus Pad can run up to 24 applications live in the background. That's pretty good if it doesn't slow down. The OnePlus tablet is arriving in an already flooded market with devices from Apple, Samsung, Amazon, and more. CNET considers Samsung's premium Galaxy Tab 8 S8 Plus, which at $900 costs nearly double the OnePlus Pad. That's why I think that price is awesome. One of the best Android tablets on. Yeah, everybody thinks the Samsung is great. I don't have that one, but of course I have my Microsoft tablet and my iPad Pro. So I really thought about getting it. I was very tempted to go buy this after I saw the reviews. And like I said, I looked at Flossie Carter, Warren Bagnell, TK Bay, and Tech Odyssey. But then I thought, well, we've only got till May 10th to find out if Google's tablet will be out. And if it is, now I got to see how much that costs. And if I get the OnePlus tablet, then I probably need to get one of the OnePlus phones, either the 10 or 11. So we'll have to see. So I'm going to have to wait at least until Samsung's and until Google's presentation. So that article was very short. So I'm going to stop this. And I'm going to let me stop screen. Oh, Ted is in here. There you are.
Hey.
You've been following the stories?
Yeah.
So did you look at any of the reviews of the OnePlus Pad yet?
I only saw the one by Juan Bagnell.
Okay, yes. I saw one, and he did a terrific one. But of course, Flossie, of course, did a very in-depth one like he does. But TK Bay also did an in-depth one. And Tech Odyssey did a shorter one. But he did a cool thing. I guess they went to Vegas when they first looked at it. But he went back to Vegas and did his presentation outside in a restaurant, which I thought was kind of cool, And he did all his pictures and all his video in Vegas in the daytime in the sun. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, so what did you think of it based on what Juan said?
Yeah, for the price. Yeah, it's a good bang for buck. Yeah. If you're looking for
and the speakers, he showed off the speakers, and so did Flossie. I think the speakers are phenomenal.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty great consumption tablet.
Absolutely. So, like I said,
games, consume media.
Yeah, exactly. So, if Google's tablet doesn't come out, I'll almost certainly be going to go pick this up. But then, of course, I'm going to have to go get a OnePlus phone, which I've been resisting for years, as you know. But when TK Bay did he didn't have his OnePlus phone connected to it, even though I know he has the OnePlus 11, but I think he used which one did he have? He had one of the other Chinese phones, and that connected to it just fine. So I gather any Android phone will probably connect to it. I don't know if it was because they were some of the other same Chinese manufacturers, but I'm thinking you're probably better off having a OnePlus phone to go with it. That's my guess.
Yeah, the features to, really, enjoy that OnePlus ecosystem wasn't available on the tablet yet. So
yeah. Oh, and so while we're here, let me go back and go over some of these specs because that short article didn't. So I'm going to share the screen again. So these are some of the specs for the OnePlus Pad. Like I said, that's that green color, which I think is very attractive.
Yeah, I like
that. And that folio cover comes in the same kind of green, so it looks nice together. Key features: 7.5, 144 hertz display. That's pretty impressive, I think. Data sharing to 5G, 1 month standby, which we read. Height.
I don't hear that too often. 1 month standby life. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The weight, you can see the weight is 555 grams, so it doesn't seem like it's too heavy. Display 11.6, so it's like my iPad Pro size. Screen to body ratio, blah, blah, blah. Refresh rate 30, 60, 90, 120, 140, 144, which I think is awesome. Touch sampling rate, contrast, brightness 500 nits, which I guess they're saying is typical on tablets. RAM 8 gigabytes LPDDR5. Storage 128 gigabytes. I think TK Bay said he wished it was 256, but they all say it's 128 is still good. No, maybe it was Flossie that said he wished it was 256, but he said 128 is good. And of course, the CPU is the MediaTek Dimensity 9000. Everybody raves about that chip. So they're saying this chip is awesome. And I saw Flossie and I saw TK both do gaming with it, and there seems to be no problems with gaming. Smooth as silk, they say.
Okay.
Battery 995, 10 milliamp, so pretty good. Again, typical. 67 watts. Oh yeah, the cameras. Video 720 at 30, 1080p at 30, 4K at 30. That's the rear camera.
They need to switch those around.
Huh? Say it again?
For tablets, I think they should, put more effort. Manufacturers just put more effort to the front camera as opposed to the rear camera.
They all should too, but they don't. But at least they put 4K on here, and I'm glad they did that. And then the front, we've got 720 30, of course, 1080p 30. No 4K on the front-facing camera. Of course, you got Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 5, your Bluetooth version 5, USB Type-C, audio also, and it's face unlock. There's no fingerprint unlock. It's face unlock, and I gather it works very well. So I just wanted to make sure everybody saw those specs, but I think it's a great deal. That's my impression. So are you thinking about picking it up?
Nah.
No? Okay. Do you have any tablets? You have the iPad what?
Yeah, I have the iPad Pro 11 from 2018.
Okay, and I have the one from 2020. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if this thing is all credit to Apple though. This thing has been chugging along.
Mm-hmm.
Despite it being around for 5 years, and I haven't even seen it in its age in the battery life.
Okay, that's good.
So yeah, this tablet has done its job. So I don't know what I'm going to do when it dies out. Maybe I just forgo tablets.
Yeah. Now, of course, when we get to the Google event, if they don't have the tablet out, or I think the tablet's out of my price range, I'm almost certainly going to get this and pick up some kind of, probably a OnePlus 10 phone, just to have something to go along with it. Because I said I might pick up the 7A, but if I pick this up, I'm not going to pick up the 7A. So it's going to be one or the other. So I got to wait until the event and see what they're offering. And now, of course, if they come up with the Fold for what initially people thought was going to be $1,300 to $1,500, I'm probably going to go there, and that's it. But if they're going to come out with the Fold, like everybody's saying now, at $1,800, just like the Samsung, I don't have $1,800 to give them for that.
For the what is it called? The Pixel tablet?
They're calling it the Pixel. Well, I've seen Google Fold. I've seen the Google Pixel Fold, or some people just call it the Pixel Fold. No,
what's
we're
the
talking
tablet going to be called again?
Oh, the Pixel tablet. Yeah, they initially called it the Pixel tablet. But keep in mind, we've had all these rumors about coming out at this event, the 7A and the Pixel.
At Google I/O.
Right, and the Pixel Fold. But I'm not hearing anybody saying much about the tablet anymore, right?
No.
In the last few months, there's like no talk of the tablet whatsoever. So it's very confusing because the way a lot of people, and same as me, when Google had their event last year and they announced the tablet, we all thought it was going to be early this year. Well, that didn't happen. And now they don't seem to be talking about it at all. So where is it? And what's it going to cost? Now, I think OnePlus was very smart to get this out now, because if they do come out with their tablet, are they going to be able to match this $479 price? I highly doubt it. What do you think?
Yeah, I can't remember a time when a Google tablet,
Yeah, their
a
tablets
Pixel tablet was affordable.
Their tablets have been expensive.
The Nexus tablets were great and affordable.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was
Everyone loved
the
those.
last time they had any affordable tablets, and that was a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pixel C, the Pixel Slate.
Yeah. And a lot of people thought the Pixel Slate wasn't worth it, right?
Nah, everyone was saying the Pixel Slate was just straight up bad.
Yeah, exactly.
The Pixel C could have been a lot better too.
The Pixel C to me looked like a great thing, but
it had great hardware.
What was it, like $1,500 or something when it first came out?
It was like I think it was more closer to around $1,100 if you had the keyboard.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but the problem was at the time was that Android back then wasn't so great with the multitasking.
Yeah, it wasn't so tablet friendly.
Yeah, it wasn't so tablet friendly. And people were begging, Google to, redo it and this time put Chrome OS on it.
Yeah, well, see, that's why Android L, I guess, has made all the difference in the world, and I guess that's what's going to make the tablet worth having, depending on how much they price it at.
Yeah, well, they could have just brought back the Pixel C. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The first affordable Pixel tablet, we'll see.
That would be nice. So nothing else new in the comments. You want to take the next story, which is the YouTube Music podcast story?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Okay. All right, it's up. Let me share screen. Okay, got it up whenever you're ready. This is from The Verge. And I did announce that YouTube Music was going to be getting podcasts, and I did check yesterday, and the podcasts are there.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. All my podcasts, and I tend to use Google Podcasts, so maybe that's why. But all my podcasts are already sitting there.
Oh yeah, Google Podcasts is a thing. So what's going to happen now?
Right. Well, I guess more people use. I don't think a lot of people use Google Podcasts. I do. It's my preferred one, but not many other people do. My guess is they're figuring a lot more people are going to use podcasts through YouTube.
This Pixel still has play music on it.
Yeah.
Never mind. So let's see. YouTube Music officially rolling out podcasts. The update will let you listen to podcasts in the background for free.
Yeah.
No ads.
It was very good. Yeah, I'm putting it in reader view. So okay, go ahead.
Podcasts have finally started to arrive from YouTube Music users in the US. The change will allow you to tune into podcasts on the YouTube Music app, where you can gain access to on-demand offline streams that support background listening without a premium subscription.
Yeah, which is awesome. That surprised me.
Makes me wonder what the heck was going on with Google Podcasts. Was that not a thing on Google Podcasts?
Premium? No, there was no premium subscription with Google Podcast.
YouTube first announced that it was bringing podcasts to its music streaming service at The Verge's Hot Pod Summit in February. And now it's gradually rolling out to users. The YouTube Music app will now have a dedicated podcast tab. Just loading this app, where you can browse through shows that were once limited to the main YouTube app. You can also swap between the audio and video versions of a podcast while using YouTube Music. All right, that's cool. I'll give it that much. Adding podcasts to the YouTube Music should help the service better compete with Spotify, which just hit 500 million monthly active users earlier this week. YouTube reported having around 80 million music and YouTube premium subscribers last November, while Spotify on the other hand says it has around 210 million.
Yeah, they got a little catching up to do.
For now, podcasts are only available to YouTube Music users in the US, but YouTube says it plans to bringing the feature to other countries in the future. The feature is also available on the YouTube Music app across iOS, Android, and web.
Good. So like I said, I made sure it's there. All my podcasts are already sitting there. Now, of course, Google being Google, they're saying it'll be bringing it to other countries in the future. And my first thought is until you decide to kill it, because that's what they do, Anyway, so I just thought it's cool. Big House is in here. Big House, wait, let me stop screen. Let's see. Big House says, I prefer Spotify over YouTube Music. Yeah, my problem is I've never used Spotify. So I do use YouTube Music some.
Hey, Big House. I probably would prefer Spotify over YouTube Music, but the way I'm seeing it, I get YouTube Music for free. So
that's why I have YouTube Music.
So it's not like I'm going to go ahead and give extra
money. I tend not to use stuff. If you're going to charge me for stuff that I can get free somewhere else, I tend to go with the free.
Yeah, unless it's like the free stuff is exceptionally bad, then
exactly. Now, because I tend to use YouTube Music, but I use Amazon Music for years, and because I'm a Prime subscriber, of course, I can dump anything I want on Amazon Music, so all my music is backed up there too. So I listen to both. Okay, one more story. And you know me, my I guess somewhat fascination with Elon, but I just thought this was kind of an interesting story. So I said Elon's net worth is taking a hit at the moment. Another story on The Verge. And I noticed this story was a week old, but this was the first time I've seen it, and I thought it was interesting. So I said, okay, let me share the story. So, and this all happened from last week's, along with the SpaceX ship blowing up. This all happened the same day, I think last Friday. Elon Musk's wealth plummets by 12.6 billion after chaotic 24 hours at Twitter, Tesla, and SpaceX. Angry Tesla shareholders, Twitter verification chaos. I did hear something about that. And exploding rockets. Musk's 420 may have been more lit than he was hoping for. So he just had a bad day Thursday the 20th. So let's go into review. Elon Musk's coffers became a smidge lighter, on Thursday after his net worth plummeted by 12.6 billion. Only Elon can consider that a smidge. According to Bloomberg's Billionaires Index, the biggest drop in Musk's wealth so far this year. That fall comes on the heels of the fairly tumultuous 24 hours for SpaceX, Tesla, and Twitter, three of the largest businesses under Musk's leadership. Tesla's share price fell by 9.8% on Thursday, following disappointing first quarter results. Tesla published disappointing first quarter results on Thursday morning, reporting an almost 20% decline in the company's gross margin. That surprised me. The EV manufacturer has made several aggressive price cuts. I did hear about that.
Yep, I saw it too.
Okay, to its vehicle lineup in recent months, a move that increased sales despite the struggling EV market, but ultimately resulting in a hit to its overall profit margin. Because they were giving pretty good discounts, so I heard. But they're building a brand new showroom here in Chattanooga. Tesla share, they're building it almost right next to where Elno works. Tesla's share price fell by 9.8% to $162.99 by the time the markets closed on Thursday. Musk's 10% stake in Tesla makes up the largest share of his now $163.9 billion net worth. On the same day, I saw this. I guess probably a lot of people saw this. SpaceX's integrated Starship spacecraft experienced a rapid, unscheduled disassembly over the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, it got up there and it got stuck spinning around just before it exploded, which is just a fancy way of saying it exploded 4 minutes into its first test flight. But I gather it was somewhat successful because they were somewhat expecting it might explode. Starship had successfully cleared the launch pad before it started to spin uncontrollably. It spun about 4 or 5 times, I remember that, and then burst into a ball of flames before stage separation. Musk has a 42% stake in SpaceX and is planning to attempt another Starship test flight in a few months. I don't worry about him and SpaceX because they always get it right at some point, and they do it better than anybody else, in my opinion, including NASA.
So they're exceptionally good at trial and error.
Yeah. And then there's Twitter. Musk has made good on his promise to remove blue check marks from legacy accounts on Thursday, with the verification logo sputtering in and out between page reloads with the technical prowess we've come to expect from the platform before eventually disappearing completely. Well, he was paying for LeBron's and other people's himself. The Twitter.
Why does he have to pay for it?
Yeah, they had to pay for the verification.
Like they can't just flip a switch and leave it on. Like what? Like so he's actually paying for it.
He wanted the $8 a month from everybody, but for LeBron and a few others big shots who didn't pay for it, he decided to pay for it himself. So, the Twitter CEO has replaced legacy verification, something he once called an unfair lords and peasants system. Well, I guess he agrees with now, with one that requires users to pay an $8 monthly subscription to Twitter Blue. But like I said, yeah, here it is. Unless you're a wealthy celebrity. After The Verge reported that LeBron James was offered a complimentary subscription from Musk. Yeah, Musk was paying for that. The Twitter CEO confirmed that he was paying to verify James, Stephen King, and William Shatner. Okay. I guess if you're big enough, he doesn't consider it unfair. Advertisers and media organizers are now watching this situation with bated breath amid concerns that the removal of legacy verified checkmarks could increase misinformation. Yeah, I guess it could. Issues have already occurred from accounts purchasing Twitter Blue to impersonate notable individuals. Yeah, and that's why he kept it, because when he first came on, people were doing a lot of impersonating, and when he put the cost on it, I gather it almost all stopped. Brands and government departments, Eli Lilly's stock price tumbled by almost 5%.
No, it's the other way around, actually.
How do you mean?
When he allowed the check marks to be able to be paid for, people were doing the impersonations.
I thought it was before that.
Nope. Originally, it was supposed to be that if you bought it, you get the check mark. But people would just, they would buy it, get the check mark, and then change their name and to pretend to be someone else.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. And it says so here's such impersonations.
And so they stopped, so they took it away.
Now, yeah. So many companies has lost their verify. So they say it's going to be worse now. So,
but I think they because of this moment, Eli Lilly now gives out insulin for free, right? So there's one good thing about this. Maybe that was his plan all along.
So now he's the world's second richest person, despite this latest tumble, sitting behind French tycoon Bernard Arnault. In fact, this recent loss doesn't even eclipse the $26.8 billion increase in the billionaire's worth this year off the back of Tesla's earlier 33% share price rebound in January. So yeah, I think Tesla will come back also, but isn't he saying that there's going to be a cheaper Tesla very soon now too?
No, I didn't even say that.
There's some stories a couple of weeks ago that there's going to be, and I think it's going to be 20,000, something like that.
No one wants to hear that. everybody was expecting the more expensive Teslas to finally come out, like the Cybertruck and the Roadster.
Yeah, that's true.
And
But
the dumb trucks to finally. No one wants to hear about the cheaper Tesla that they will take them 12
people
years
I
to get.
can't afford it. I would probably buy one if it was cheap enough. Well, I still don't trust the battery though.
I think you might be able to find a Tesla within 20,000. You think maybe
I don't think so. Not right now.
a used one, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, but yeah, but then again, who wants to use one when I don't think the battery technology is perfected yet? I don't think anybody believes that.
No, I think Tesla did a great job on their batteries. So long as you don't live in
Tesla
a
does a
cold
better
climate.
job than anybody else. But
So
once
long
you
as you don't live
start,
in a cold climate, right?
yeah, but once the battery starts going down, replacing the battery, you might as well just buy a new car because that's the cost of the car basically.
Yeah, true.
So that's what would make me nervous about the whole thing. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting that he took such a big hit in a 24-hour period, but he's still worth second richest guy in the world. So I guess he's okay.
And he'll probably
Oh,
get back up number one in no time.
yeah.
Still, 3 CEOs. Well, actually, no, 4. He's the CEO of 4 companies.
Oh, and I think it's more than that now. Don't forget he's got what's the company that's doing the tunnel underground?
Boring.
Boring. Yeah, Boring's one of the companies.
I
And
don't know. So this guy can be the head of so many companies. People can just work 2 jobs.
yeah,
Like,
he's juggling a bit much, I think. Sorry, fellas, heavy trade. All right, so Renz, we know you were at work, so we're just glad you checked in with us. Yeah, Big Al said, yeah, that rocket went. Yeah, that rocket, it was big. That's for sure. And hand pink wave. Okay. So that's my last story. So you get to do the glowing rectangles. So I'm pulling it up now.
You pull it up on this tablet.
Okay. Okay, I got it up. So whenever you're ready, you take it away. Oh, let me get my brand stuff. Is my brand stuff there or not? Yeah, it is. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you interested to find a great place that had lots of fun tech reviews from folks who deserve more attention? Well, then head on over to reddit.com/r/glowing rectangles, and you get to see a feed of fun tech stories curated by humans, not any algorithm.
So far.
That we know of. And see the number one story of the day. Wow, 11 upvotes.
Yeah, I gave it an upvote earlier today.
Well, the OnePlus Pad, Juan Carlos had the tablet for about a week, and he gave his embargo impressions. Number 2 by TK Bay, also about the OnePlus Pad.
Yeah, he's had it about a week also, but a couple of the guys I saw had it about a month. And one of the British guys had it about a month already.
And number 3. Let's see. Oh, this is their podcast. Third story is the podcast with TK Bay and Juan Bagnell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where they discussed Juan getting the Xiaomi 13 S Ultra.
Okay.
And the new Rokit AR glasses.
And I watched TK Bay with the new AR glass. I am tempted by those glasses. I have been all along.
Yeah, I don't know which one to get personally for myself. Like, should I get a portable monitor, a standard portable monitor, or just those glasses, smart glasses?
Well, I see. From everything TK said, I have the what's the gaming system?
Xbox, Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch. from everything TK said, it goes great with the Nintendo Switch. So I already have that. But for months, even going all the way back to Flossie doing it months ago, it seems like the Rokit, I think, are probably the best ones. Joshua Vergara too, and the new ones I think are probably the best ones. That they don't cost that much either, do they? Right? As far as I remember, let me go look it up. Rokit, ROKIT, right? You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Rokit.com. Looking for the glasses. Where are the glasses? I'm not seeing the glasses. I'm seeing everything else except glasses. And let me go back and type in Rokit glasses. Oh yeah, 439, 508. Yeah, I'm very tempted to get those. What do you think? Are you tempted to buy them at all?
The glasses, yeah.
Yeah.
It's either going to be those glasses or the laptop.
I think the whole AR thing is just fascinating to me. And then the next story is us right now talking. I'm going to give us an upvote too. Okay. So are you done with the glowing rectangles or not?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. All right, folks. So you want some exposure or to give somebody else exposure, put your video or your blog up here any day you want, and they're going to get more exposure and more people will see it. So just wanted you to be aware of that. Let me stop screen. So that's all we've got for today. I didn't keep you too long, Ted, so that's a good thing.
I mean, to be fair, I came in halfway through.
Yeah, but I assume you have been busy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How's the photography business going?
Yeah, it's going all right.
Okay, good. And you were training for some new job at work, weren't you, at some point?
Oh yeah, the CompTIA. I have to do another exam.
Okay.
End of
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
by end of May.
Okay. Glad that Google thing doesn't just happen to me. It happens to you too. Yeah, Big House wants to catch that Xiaomi video. Okay, so I have to wait until May 10th to see what Google comes out with at I/O, and if the price of the Fold is going to be $1,800, I can forget about that. And if the tablet is too much money, then
I heard 1,700 for the Pixel Fold.
How much?
I heard 1,700 for the Pixel Fold.
Oh, that's the one price I have not heard. The initial low prices were somewhere between 1,300 and 1,500, and ever since everybody's saying it's going to be 1,800, it's going to be 1,800, it's going to be 1,800. I haven't heard 1,700 anywhere. So that's going to be way out of my price range. But like I said, if the tablet is out, if it's, I'm going to say if it's more than $200 more than the OnePlus, then I'll be just getting the OnePlus tablet, and I'll be picking up probably a OnePlus 10 of some type, because there's two OnePlus 10s to choose from. And then, of course, I can compare it to my iPad Pro 2020, and I can compare it to my Microsoft Surface, which I'm on right now. See, when I'm over here broadcasting from Eleanor's house, I leave the Microsoft Surface Pro 8 here. So here it's my computer.
All right.
But it's so easy to disconnect and take with me that's when Big House says
he's ready for the 7A.
Yeah, he's ready for this. I was going to get the 7A if I did not get the if I did not get the Fold, if I couldn't afford the Fold. But this this tablet just looks too good to me at that price. Now, of course, since the whole Rokit glasses thing came up again, don't be shocked if a week or two from now I end up showing you the AR glasses, because I am really fascinated by them, and I have been for a long time. Oh, Renz, you're so kind. Thank
You're
you.
good, Red. It's all right.
You're very kind, Renz. We appreciate it. All right, so we are done. Oh, and like I told you in our interaction, there's no huge hurry for the Moto, but whenever you're ready, are you still working on your video for that?
Yeah, I just got my tour for this nice fancy garden. So a bunch of comparison videos of plants.
Okay, so use it as long as you feel like you're using it. But when I get it back, I'm probably just going to keep that one because I do like it.
Yep, I decided to. Yeah, I'm gonna cop it when that's probably gonna be like the next phone purchase. Like just for the
Okay.
Moto, just
It's
for the
a
Moto
nice
Ready
phone, isn't it?
feature.
Now,
Yeah,
you saw that Moto came out with a new phone this week, right?
right.
Yeah, they came. They're even sending me emails about it. Let me see if I can find the email.
Yeah, ever since I activated that Motorola, like they've been giving me emails nonstop too. Like it's just been sales though. Like, hey, like we got this it's a new sale, Chinese New
No,
Year
they came
sale.
out. Yeah, I got an email about it. Say hello to the Think phone by Motorola. You haven't seen it?
Oh yeah, I thought that was a gag.
No. This is a real thing. And we're trying to think. I saw somebody's review about it. It seems kind of fascinating. It seems like it's really a work phone to be a work phone more than anything else.
I thought that was a gag, because of how thick their phones were back in the day.
No. I think it's a real thing. All right, here I'm clicking on buy now. Yeah, it's there. It's there for sure. It's like it's supposed to be a combination of a ThinkPad and the phone.
So
That's
is it in the business side or the shop phone side?
it's in the shop for it, I think. Best phone for cybersecurity. They're saying that, of course, Moto saying that. But it's supposed to be the Lenovo and Moto, the real combination kind of phone.
Is it the Think phone by Motorola?
Think phone by Motorola.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it here.
Yeah, I see it. $700.
Yeah,
Enterprise.
and I saw the price, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Then the tablet came out, because I did think about that too. But when you send back the other one, I'm thinking, okay, I probably won't need to get that. So
It's got a good looking back. I'm surprised OnePlus isn't going to complain.
yeah. He wants to know. Ted has my Moto
The Moto Edge 2022.
Edge 2022 Plus. That's what.
Yeah, I'm borrowing it. Big house.
The plus is in my head all the time. That's why I have so much trouble remembering the rest. But yeah, he's gonna do some videos on it. And then he sent it back. That's why I'm telling him to just keep it as long as he wants it, because he was worried that I needed it back.
Yeah, if you're gonna get the glasses, you're gonna want to try the Moto Ready feature on that.
Yeah, that's probably true. But I'm not certain about the glasses. But if I can hang on until the 10th, until Google I/O comes, then I'll make a decision about one or two things to buy, and that's it for a while. So we'll see what happens. So now I've got you looking at the Think phone too.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks pretty fascinating to me.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It looks very serious.
Big has the Moto 2022 Plus also. So yeah, it is a great device. All right, folks. So thanks for coming by, and thanks to Ted for making the show much more interesting, as he always does. And so next week I'll be back. Oh, and we can use some prayers for Eleanor. She was supposed to have a double foot operation today, and Tuesday they decided, oh, we have to cancel it and make it next week. So we have to reschedule everything. Her daughter can't change her flight or anything, but next Friday we could use some prayer for Eleanor because she's having 2 feet operated on at the same time by 2 different doctors. And her foot doctor said, are you sure you want both done at once? And Eleanor said, I just want to get this over with. Now, this will be Eleanor's 20th operation from the time we lived in Orlando to here in about 22, 23 years. Started with carpal tunnel. She had carpal tunnel on one side, had operated on, it was fine. She had her left, I think it was the left side done second. Different doctor, he screwed it up, had to go back and do another one. Then, if you've heard of trigger fingers, carpal tunnel often causes trigger fingers, which the knuckles. She's had every single knuckle done on both hands, so that's 10 operations right there.
First trigger, it's like it clenches involuntarily.
Yeah, they lock up. They lock up, totally lock up, and they have to go and surgically unlock them. And once they do, I guess it's fine. But she's had to have all 10 done separately. And then by the time we moved here 16 years ago from Orlando, she had already had, I think, 13 operations. So she's just sick of it, you know. And it's been a while, but, you know, by the time you're up to 20 operations, I can see where she'd be sick of it. So anyway, we can use some prayer for her next Friday. But since her daughter will be here already because she wasn't able to change her flight, I'll certainly be on next week too, but I'll be, her daughter and I will be with her all day next Friday. So all the prayer we can get, we'll take.
All right. Well, she'll be in our thoughts.
Yep. All right, folks. So everybody have a very blessed weekend. Thank you, Big Us. Thank you very, very much. So we'll be back next Friday. Everybody have a very blessed weekend. Renz, I hope you don't work too hard, but I'm sure you're getting it done.
Easy, Renz.
Exactly. So see you all next week. And thanks for being here. And thanks for being so faithful. And here comes the pregnant pause.